this video I'll be explaining everything together. I will also be uploading videos of separate things. So let's say you already know how to capture a monster, but you don't know how to fish, for instance. I'll have videos for each thing. That way you can look up whatever you need help with. So let me start off by saying you're gonna be in this game for a while. It's a great game. They're always adding new things, and it's not a game that, you know, once you beat it, yes, it is repetitive, but that's what it's all about. Making armors, making new weapons, figuring out. You can't go wrong in this game. For instance, nobody could say that the best weapon is the great sword or the long sword. The best weapon is whatever weapon you feel the most comfortable with. So I'm gonna start off with showing you around this place. So your main thing is gonna be these guys with the bounties. Right? You'll want to always have all bounties done. Each bounty gives you armor spheres that you need to upgrade your armor. Depending on which bounty you pick, you get different rewards, and you also get research points, which is also important. But I'll get to that. Next thing is the limited bounties. Now, if you complete the limited bounties, is every week. It resets every week. You will get these Wyvern prints. Those Wyvern prints could be traded in for jewels and anything, any jewel that you need. Usually they don't put jewels for new monsters, so Devil Joe will not be included there. You actually have to get his jewel yourself. They will always change, so you can do it once every week, all three of them, and then you get a gold Wyvern print. The next person that is important, not to say, would be this guy right here. Whoa. Once you unlock him, you can tell him what you need. You're basically gonna need honey all the time, because we all know we all use potions, and mega potions are way better. So having honey, he's always making it for you, and he does get upgraded 3 times, so you'll be able to pick what do you want him to make. Here, no berries. I have to say that no berries are extremely important. No berries take away blights like burning, the lightning effect, which makes you susceptible to stun faster, which is really bad. The ice, which makes your stamina go down faster while you run. And then you have the water blight, which makes your stamina come back much slower. You pop a no berry, it'll take that away. Might seeds give you a little attack boost, and this gives you a little defense boost. Now, these seeds could be crafted into demon drugs, and demon drugs do give you a good boost, so those are important. But the main two, if you're a new player, what you want is herbs and honey, just because those are the things you need to make potions and mega potions, which are going to be the 2 items that you're going to be using the most. Excuse me. Another thing we got here, this is the guy that you buy from. Should you buy stuff from him? Not if you don't want to, but if you don't want to spend your money on this, you can always go and find herbs, or wait for the guy to have herbs for you, or honey, stuff like that. You could buy ammo from him if you don't want to make ammo. That's another thing that you can do. He's a little like Easter egg thing. It's been in every Monster Hunter. Nobody really pays attention to it. Give me 2 seconds to see if I can find her. Oh. See the little pig right here. You can talk to it and pet it. Once the hearts come out, you press O and hearts come out. You do that enough time, every time you come from a quest, she actually ends up really liking you, and you're able to carry her, and she could dig for items. Are the items useful? Not really. You could get the items anywhere you just by going on explorations if you need to. Some people say she gives you luck. I don't really see it. I've tried it. Nothing seemed different. I didn't get extra items, so I don't know. Now here is where you'll spend the most of your time, is in the smithy. This guy is gonna be your best friend and what's gonna make the game work for you. You won't have this option at the beginning. You'll have this option later on in the game, much later after you beat it. And after you beat it, you need to get to HR 100, and then this becomes available. So don't worry about that option. You'll be forging. You could forge charms, which gives you a boost in the skill that you want or need. You can forge equipment, which this is what your equipment will look like in low rank. Each monster that you kill will add his armor piece to your collection. So after you beat the monster, you need to continuously keep killing the monster for his pieces until you get it all. Then you go to upgrade, which you need spears for. So each time you progress through the story, you'll be able to upgrade your armor a little bit more. Just because your armor starts off weak doesn't mean it stays weak. So if you actually do like an armor, you can stick with it for a little while. Just remember that once you, I believe it was HR 6 maybe? I want to say is HR 6. After HR 6, I don't want to ruin the story. After HR 6, you will unlock high rank armor. So don't kill yourself making all of these armors when you're not going to be using them for that long. You know, you just make the one that has the highest defense, and then you will continue to make one of these. Any one of your choice, whatever suits your weapon. You have to base your armor on your weapon, not the other way around. So let's go to a easy mission so I can show how to capture monsters. But before I do that, there's different boards. It's not only on one floor. There's a board here that you can start your quest. There is a board downstairs. You can also start the quest over here. By talking to your handler. One important detail, always eat. Never forget to eat. That is vital to your survival. What I recommend, well, if you're a new player, you just play the new mission. It usually sends you right here. But whenever you have the option of going to the gathering hub, go to the gathering hub. It's just much easier because the kitchen is literally next to you. You could leave for the mission. Everything that you need is in the gathering hub. So I'm gonna just go on a quest real quick. Let me just eat. Now when it comes to food, Some people always go for the activation chances, you know, having all this, but you also have to be careful. Not all of these things, all of these food skills are good. Some of them are extremely useful. Some of them are not useful at all. 50 is the max that you can get for food. Yes, when you eat the chef's choice, he always gives you 50 HP and 50 stamina, no matter what. But if, let's say, you want attack up large, so you could hit a little harder, you can always pop a max potion. Max potion will give you max health on top of recovering. You can only carry 2 per mission. So I usually just eat this because I don't really care. It depends on what you want to go for. You can also make your own Predator, but like, don't recommend that. I'm just gonna go on our exploration quick. I'll go on a low rank exploration, that way I can show you the next step. While it loads, I'll be showing you guys how to capture monsters, when to capture the monster, and the easiest way to do it. We're gonna start with, of course, my favorite monster, Great Jaguars. As soon as this thing loads. Alright. Sorry about that loading. Took longer than I expected. Now that you're here, once you start a mission, your handler will be there or standing here. Doesn't really matter. When you're in exploration, there is no items in this box. But when you're on a quest, you always get items in this box. If you're a new player, always take the items. More healing is just safer. Here, one thing that the game doesn't really explain, you can eat right here. Doesn't matter the table. It's the same thing as eating outside, just because if you forget to eat out there, you can always eat here. And then this tent is where you restock on items whenever you need them. You can also put shortcuts on items, so you make a setup that you want, so you can always carry. Whenever I use my light bow set, this is where I carry all the ammo that I need. Heavy bow, but this is my main thing because I main melee weapons most of the time, anyways. You can do that. You can also craft items in here. See, like max potion and all that good stuff. You can also craft traps, stuff like that. Flash pods, which blind monsters. Flying monsters are really annoying in this game. If you flash them, they do fall to the ground, and you are able to beat them until they get up. Screamer pods are for monsters that dig. So Diablos. Diablos is a pain in the ass when he digs and then he comes up. If you actually manage to shoot a Screamer pod where he digs, he'll come out but get stuck and not hurt none of your teammates. Gun pods, Dung pods are to, if you have 2 monsters at the same time fighting each other and it's getting too hectic for you, you shoot the monster you want to get rid of. So you shoot them enough times, they'll start glowing. No, not glowing. Smoke is coming out of them. I will show you that. 1 second. I'll show you how that looks real quick, and the blinding thing also. Before that, since I'm getting ahead of myself, let's capture the monster. Now, tracks. My bad. Before we even capture the monster, tracks are very important. Pick up tracks. You'll be able to see the monster on the map. The more tracks you pick up, the more research level you will get for your monster. Simply put, always pick up tracks. Tracks. Always pick them up. Don't leave them behind. Don't do none of that. Once you get your research level to 6, you won't be able to get past 3 at the beginning of the game. You'll be able to get past 3 after you hit high ranked missions. Then you'll be able to go to 6. You'll want to do this because it shows you their weaknesses, as you can see. Once your research level is up, the little stars, if it's 3 stars, that means they're extremely weak to it, right? If it has an X, that doesn't mean you won't hurt them, but you'll do less damage with that element, right? If it has 1 star, you know, they're 2 stars you could deal with. Also, the status effects that you could hit them with is also an option. So, poison, you can always hit Great Jaguars with poison. He's susceptible to everything. What it means by stun is that you can stun him pretty fast because he has a 3. There are monsters that have parentheses. Now the parentheses means whenever he's covered in mud. So basically, when a Barif is covered in mud, water will be his weakness. Now if he loses his mud, fire will be his weakness, and water won't work as well. So what I always do is, when this is the case, I'll use ice, just to not deal with the bullshit of switching between fire and ice, because you can't switch on the go. Now you can always go in there also with any weapons that have poison, sleep, or paralysis, or blast, because those things work also on most monsters anyways. Same deal with him, with the big fish that I'm not even going to try to pronounce his name. He's not really weak against fire. When he's covered in mud, he's weak against water, but when he's not, he's weak against lightning. And vice versa, meaning if he is covered in mud, then lightning won't work as well as it should. Some monsters have 1 star. That basically means that poison is not going to work as well as it usually does. You still can poison the monster, but it's not going to do as much damage as it should. If the monster has 1 star in sleep, most likely means the chance of putting it to sleep is very, very low. So I don't recommend that on monsters that have no sleep. Same thing for paralysis. Blast, on the other hand, I will have to show you how blast works so I can explain it better. You basically do want to get your research max level. For another reason also is because it shows you the rewards. It shows you what you need to break in order to get certain things. So this is basically low rank. This is all you can get in low rank, right? But in high rank, clearly is different. A great example will be Rathian. Now in low rank, this is all she can give you, right? This is what you can get. Now each thing, head broken, back broken, wind broken, and tail carved, this doesn't mean that you're gonna get that item if you break the head. If you break the head, it gives you a chance of receiving the item at the end of the mission. So if you cut the tail and you carve the tail, you do have a chance of getting a plate from the tail because you cut it. Now, if you manage to kill the monster without having broken its back, his head or cut his tail, there is no the chances of you getting a plate is extremely slim. So you can see the plate is the rarest for low rank, of course. The ruby is the rarest for high rank. Rubies, you'll see the pain in the ass it will be for new players that are coming to Monster Hunter. To make this as simple as possible as I can, you have to break the parts that this shows you to have a chance of attaining the gem. It's just not by killing the monster. Now there is a way around this, and that's called investigations. Investigations will give you a random drop depending on what you need, and I'll come back to that. So basically the whole point of this is pick up footprints so you can level up your monsters. So now back to what I was doing, capturing the monster. Capturing is not hard at all. You do need items though. 2 seconds. So now if you look at my map, you see that like drooling dinosaur coming out the monster. That means the monster is hungry. So it's gonna go look for food. As you can see, the Great Jagerates eats one of those, and now it's full. Alright. The moment you attack the monster, the map gets red. That means you're engaged in battle. When it gets white, that means the monster is leaving. Alright? There is ways to stopping it by flashing it if you want to. Don't have to. Also to keep in mind, the X comes out when you have him maxed out. It'll tell you where he's going. It's good for flying monsters because they're annoying as hell. They'll fly one direction and they actually make a U-turn and you're just left chasing nothing. Now he's on the thing. This tree right here is also a trap. See it on the map. Which I actually show you better if he actually moves. And he gets stuck. Since I could show you here, if you want to mount a monster, you have to jump off a ledge and press the attack button. All weapons can mount, including ranged weapons, so you don't lose out on anything. This is what mounting looks like. Whenever the screen goes red, you have an option. You can move out the way, and that's it. Or you can brace by holding R2 whenever it turns red. Now a monster, here's a tip that I don't see a lot of people using. A lot of people usually stab them in the face as much as possible, because you can stab them while you're on, but it only does 1 damage. So let's say you want to break Great Jagerates' face. What you want to do is stay on his face, but instead of stabbing it, you don't stab it. You wait for it to ram itself into a wall, because that does, even though it doesn't show the damage that it does to itself, it helps you break stuff easily, and I've tested it. So then once you do that, you'll get the move. You'll drop them for your team. I understand, when you're on top of a monster, or a teammate is on top of a monster, never flash the monster, or you'll knock down your teammate, messing it up for everyone. So now you see the skull coming out of him in the map. If you can see it right there. This means he's ready to be captured. So usually what I recommend new players to do is chase it. Usually it goes back to his den, to his house, wherever he sleeps in, making it easier. See how it says investigation added? I will show you what that means later on. Now, he'll go to sleep. Understand that any attack will wake him up, and he'll start fighting again. Now, what you want to do is, before you want to use a tranquilizer bomb, 2 of these, right? Once you use 2 of those, you set the trap. And there you go, he's captured. Done deal. You cannot carve them when they're captured. Now, the benefits of you capturing a monster is that you get more stuff at the end of the mission, just because you captured them. I've seen a lot of, I've played with people that got mad that I've captured the monsters because they can't get the carve. It's not the way it works. You get 3 carves if you kill it, and if you capture it, you get extra rewards at the end. So as simple as that. Once you see the monster limping, or you see that skull on the map, he's ready to be captured. Usually what I recommend is for you to wait for him to go to sleep, throw 2 tranquilizer bombs, put a trap down. Done. Easy as that. Now, let me see if I can show you what the Dong Pod does. And don't worry, I'm going to cover everything. Just need to find a monster. Oh, before I go, I can actually, let's see. When you're in exploration, the difference between this is that you can fight any of the monsters that you see next to your map, right? If you find them, you can fight them. But the downside is the monster can leave the area without you having to kill him, without you getting the chance to kill it. So it ends up you missing out on the parts. Now, if you're in a quest or you're in an investigation, the monster can't leave. The main monster that you need to kill cannot leave ever. So, but you only get 3 lives. Once you die 3 times, it's game over. Also, have to remember that you share your lives with others. So if you die once and your friend or whoever you're hunting with dies twice, it's game over. It's not 3 lives per player. It's 3 lives in total. So if you're playing with 4 people, not each one gets 3 lives. The whole team gets 3 lives. That's why you see a lot of people saying no noobs and stuff like that. It's because of that. In exploration, you could die as many times as you want. Take this guy for instance. If I was to equip my... Actually, let me see if I can get him to flash. So I can show you the flash spots. If you hurt a monster enough times, you actually knock it over. Oh, now that I'm kicking his ass. If you ever want a tail, cut a tail off, you need to focus most of your attack on the tail. Understand that in single player, the game's a little easier. Monsters have less HP. Monsters also need to break parts easier on single player. On multiplayer, you have to work as a team because the monster does have double the HP or even a little bit more, to be honest, because it's more of you. I also want new players to understand that if you play... Oh, look, he's flying. So while he's flying, you should have flash pod in his face, he falls right back down. And then you can focus on the tail again, or whatever part it is, and that's what it looks like when you cut the tail off. Now, some monsters lose certain abilities, so Puki Puki is, he loves to fill up his tail with poison, and then he shoots poison everywhere. If you cut his tail off, he loses that move. So he can't have it. Which is great for new players. I've seen a lot of new players get stuck in this monster. It's really a pain in the ass. But you want to focus on cutting the tail off a lot of monsters, because a lot of the rare parts are in the tail. This is what it looks like when you kill a monster. You're able to carve them 3 times. 3 times only. You get random parts from him, right? So I showed you what the flash pod can do. Didn't I grab the Dawn Pods? Okay, there you go. Now I'm gonna show you what the Dawn Pods does, because again, like I stated, game doesn't really explain it. You can always pick up honey, pick up different items. Another thing you should all be aware of is in the crafting list, if you want, you could put it to auto craft. So as soon as you pick up the 2 items that are needed, it will make it right away. So you really want that for potions and mega potions. If I was to drink a mega potions right now, right? Sorry that I'm all over the place. I'm just trying. I'm remembering little by little. Played this game too long. And then you grab a honey. It'll instantly make a mega potion back to you. But you have to have it in autocraft. You do this with almost anything. So that way you don't have to keep worrying about, oh, damn it, I gotta make this, I gotta make that. All you have to do is just pick up the items that you need and it will make it instantly for you as long as you have both items. When a monster either leaves or you kill it, another monster will replace it. Now, there are specific monsters for specific places, so Diablos will never come over here. You'll get these 3 monsters, the Great Jaggeris, Rathalos, and Anjanath will be the 3 main monsters in this place. Once you get to high rank, that changes. Another thing on the map that I would like to show you all is with L1 and L and R1, you can focus on the points that you want. So if you're here only for gathering, don't really care about the monsters or any of that, you put it on gathering so you can see all the gathering points here. That way you know where you're going. Also, if you press R3, you can always set a waypoint. See what a waypoint does? It makes your scout flies take you in the direction that you want to go and the item that you want. So you just follow it around. Yes, the scout flies sometimes take you in the stupidest ways possible. But if you don't know the map yet and you need help getting around, just use the waypoints. Always use the waypoints. Over here. See, once you reach your destination, which I forgot what the hell I put. I think I put this. You can mine. Alright? By leaving O press. Just leave it press, your character, you don't have to continuously smash O. This is how you get flash pods. Now the thing that I like to do is I like to have my flash pods autocraft. As you can see, give me 1 second. I have it autoclassed, so as soon as you pick a flash bug, boom, it makes it. That's it. You're done. So even if you run out, you don't have to go back to camp. You just pick a flash bug, and you get your flash bots back. Now back to what I was doing. Thumb pods. Remember to use the dumb pods or the flash pods or any kinds of pods. You have to equip them inside your slinger by pressing square. I think Anjanath should be this way, hopefully. Oh, I'm sorry, and also the bird is also in here. My bad, forgot about him. Alright, so this is Anjanath. This is the guy you want to avoid at all costs at the beginning of the game. Why? Because he's one of the most he's advanced for beginner players. So you do have to fight him later on. The game does force you to fight him. But if you're exploring and just killing Great Jaggeris, avoid him. Because your armor isn't powerful enough to handle him yet. So, dumb pods. You see how that smoke is coming out of him? That means it worked. He'll instantly run away. Now you do have two choices, and you always have two choices. If there is two monsters, they do fight each other and they do break parts from each other. Also, they do hurt each other. Even though you don't see the numbers coming out, they do hurt each other. You have the options of staying there and dealing with both of them and seeing them battle it out. Some of them hate each other enough to have a turf war, which does insane amount of damage to the monster that loses, which hopefully I can show you in this video. So I showed you how to capture the monster. Fishing, it's no big deal. You have to put your fishing rod on. Oops, that's my capture net. That's my bad. You see the circle where you're gonna throw it. You usually want to throw where the fishes are at. I think I forgot a fish. So oh, R2, my bad. I think I scared him away. And that's how you fish. Simple enough. You press O as soon as your controller vibrates. Now there are bigger fishes. Bigger fish will start up this little mini game where it's a quick time event where you have to press the buttons at the right directions and then you'll be fine. You don't lose anything for failing to catch a fish. You can keep trying most of the time, but do remember that if you jump in the water like I just did, like an idiot, you do scare the fishes away. Now, let's say you really don't like fishing at all. I'm not a fan. You can always use the capture net. As soon as you see your box turn an orange color like this, you press R2. You capture fishes that way, if you wanted to. That's if you don't like fishing at all. Now, I don't say that, you know, that's better than fishing. If you fish, you catch way more fishes like that, because the moment you throw your net in the water, all the other fish will run away. I explained the little capture net now that I'm on it. You capture little animals like that. I completely failed. Let me see if I can find something to catch. This bird, for instance. See, you also get research points. So if you ever just want to have fun, just capture stuff because you need points. It's a very easy way to get points. A little bit of points, but points are points. They accumulate little by little. But I mean, like, you could capture almost everything in this game. As long as it's a small animal. Trust me, you can. Let me see. Let's see. There are, I believe, 3 trophies that involve you capturing rare creatures. There's a lot of guides out there, how to make them spawn and where do they spawn. You don't have to capture them. Again, if you are going for the trophy, then yes, you do. There's different animals for different places. And on top of that, you'll be able to put these animals in your house. So that's the point. It's all cosmetic things. You don't really need it. You don't have to capture them if you don't want to. That's on you. So that's it on capturing the monster, and that's it on mounting the monster. Different weapons have different ways of mounting. You know, if I can show you with the great sword. Let me just switch items. Another thing that new players, I see that they don't do, that I want to point out before I forget. So camps don't come unlocked. So it's very frustrating when you join someone's game and they don't have the camp that's supposed to be unlocked to actually spawn closer to the monster. You can fast travel to any camp you want as long as you have it unlocked. If you don't know where the camps are at, again, there are videos. I'll also put it in this video. These are the 4 camps in this place. Now, if you was to join your game and you don't have any of these 3 camps available, I won't be able to teleport. I won't be able to fast travel to those camps because you don't have them unlocked. Whoever you join, you're joining their game. So just because you unlocked all 4 of them and you join your buddy that just started the game, you will not have all 4 of them. But it doesn't affect the game at all. As soon as he joins your game, you have all 4 of them because he's now in your game. That's the way that works. So I already have all the camps unlocked in this place. Basically, you just want to use this so you could travel faster where the monsters are at. So you always want to unlock all the camps. When you find a place suitable for a camp, it won't have the little net. It will the little tent. It won't have it, but it'll have it it won't be built, but it will be there. So what you do is then you go back to HQ and talk to the bounty people and give them the item that they need, and they will open this for you. It's very important. Again, a lot of monsters like to fly away too far, so instead of you playing the chasing game, it's better off that you fast travel to whatever's closest to the monster. That way you could get them faster. It saves everybody time, and it becomes much, much easier. So let me just change my equipment. But now that I'm here, I can also explain this. Charms, like I said, charms give you skills, right? Each charm gives you a different skill. Each skill comes with different levels. So, start by explaining. Let me just do that. Skills like this, guard up, enables you to block unblockable attacks. So there are attacks in this game that you cannot block no matter what weapon you have. If you put this skill on, you're able to block anything. Fireballs and stuff that usually knock you back or you can't block, you will block everything. This skill, I don't recommend it for new players at the beginning because it requires you to stay in a bad status. So burning or poison or anything that's hurting you, it makes you stay in those things without you healing them for that thing to work. Now, it is just an okay skill. Is it worth it to me? No, not at all. Might as well explain the skills. Elder Seal Boost. Elder Seal Boost. What is Elder Seal? Elder Seal calms down monsters that get enraged. So, Devil Joe, Nergigante, when they're enraged, you hit them enough times with a weapon that has Elder Seal, you will calm them down quicker, and they won't use their ultimate attacks as much. Doesn't mean they'll stop using it for like permanently. That is bullshit. So Elder Seal boost doesn't mean that it could give you Elder Seal or whatever weapon of your choice. The weapon must have Elder Seal on it. So, for example, Xeno. Xeno's weapon does have Elder Seal, but it has a low. So if I was to put on that weapon and then add Elder Seal boost, it will increase it to, I believe, medium, is it? Oh, to average. It'll increase it to average. And from average, it'll increase it to high. Let me see if I have a high one. There you go. Nergigante's weapons usually have a high. All Nergigante weapons have high Elder Seal. That means you'll stop them from enraging and using their ultimate moves more often. That's all that Elder Seal does. I was doing the whole skill thing. I think I have all the charms because I haven't made them all. Dragon attack will power up weapons with dragon element in them. As you can see, if you get it to level 3, you get 100 more dragon attacks. So let's say this weapon, where is it? This one is 210. It will go to 310 if you equip a level 3 dragon attack. Now understand that there are different levels. So this is just level 1. That means you either need to put decorations, which I'll show later, on the weapons, or decorations on the weapons, or find armor that has dragon attack, so you can increase it to level whatever level you need. Maximum level for that is clearly 5. Infinity slide. Every time you slide, I believe, yeah, every time you slide, you get 30% infinity. Infinity is how many times you're going to crit. So the higher your infinity, the more times you can crit. Airborne is any jumping attack that you do will do 10% more damage. Now that's jumping off the edges to mount the monster. Those attacks will do more damage. This is that works extremely well with the insect glaive, just because the insect glaive you're going to be jumping a lot, which I'll show later. Then we got here Foreigner's Luck, increases of rare spawns. These are things you put on when you're like bored and you're just gathering. These are not things that are like all super important. Don't get distracted by the name. Power Prolonger is a very, very good skill that not a lot of people understand or know about, maybe. I don't see a lot of people using it. It makes buffs stay on you much longer. Understand? So 40% longer on an insect glaive user is amazing. So when you get the 3 buffs for the insect glaive, it usually lasts about a minute and a half. With this, it will last a good 3 minutes. And trust me that you'll see the difference. So if you're an Insect Glaive user, I highly recommend Power Prolonger just because it's just an amazing skill. For the Switch Axe, it makes it stay glowing longer. Same thing with the Charge Blade. Your shield will stay buffed longer. Your sword will stay buffed longer. Um, for the dual blades, your demon mode will stay buffed longer. Like it helps all of it. So that's a good skill to have. Critical boost. Every time you hit crit, you will do 30% more damage. Now this is an amazing thing. Uh, should it take up your charm slot? No, not at all. It's amazing, not that amazing. It's better off being used as a decoration. Scoutfly. This is when you're collecting tracks. You want to use this Scholar just to speed up the process of, and you'll get more investigations. That way you can level up the monster that you're collecting quicker. That makes getting the trophy of, researching all monsters to the max much faster. Believe me, I did it both ways. It is much faster. Uh, this will make mounting easier. Now understand that mounting is also different if you're playing with other people. So if you're playing with other people, it's actually harder to mount a monster than when you're playing alone. I have mounted a monster about 5 to 8 times by myself, and then fought the same monster with a friend of mine's, and I only mounted him 3 times. This will make it a little easier. Not that every time you jump off and hit him, you're gonna mount him. It makes it a little easier to mount the monster. There is this invisible timer. You can't mount a monster back to back to back. You have to wait a certain amount of time. I don't know why, but it's been like that since you come out in Monster Hunter. Jump Master. Jump Master is simple. You can't get knocked out of animation when you're in the air. Now, this doesn't mean that a monster can't slap you out there. You still can do it. That doesn't mean you're completely immune to all hits. But bow users, when they do the raining attack and you jump towards that, usually what that happens is it doesn't hurt you, but it'll stop you. But if you have this skill, you go right through it, like if it's not even there. So it's good if you're an Insect Glaive user and your buddy is a bow user, so that way he doesn't interrupt you. Normal shots just deal more damage, like the normal shots on bow guns, light bow guns, the heavy bow guns, and the bow. The normal shot that you use will deal more damage. Flinch free. Which one was this one? So, knockback. Knockback is not when a monster hits you that you fly back. That is not knockback. Knockback is when you get interrupted by a friend, meaning a friend hits you by mistake while y'all are trying to cut the tail. That won't happen. He can't interrupt your attacks. Now, some weapons like the Greatsword cannot be interrupted while you charge it. So, even if your buddy's shooting at your direction, you cannot be interrupted if you're charging the Greatsword. But there is a lot of weapons like the dual blades are really annoying when you're in there and they start attacking non-stop. Sometimes you'll get caught in the middle and you won't be able to attack. So I don't recommend you to be next to dual blade users. Now, if you are one yourself and you use the demon mode, it has an auto effect in where you cannot get knocked back while you're in demon mode. For new players that don't know what demon mode is, we'll show that later. Next will be Potato. This is one of my favorite skills, personally. Whenever a monster gets angry, it'll activate. and it will give you the buff that you're on, whatever level you're on. You're on level 2, this is what you're going to get level 2. You don't get level 2 and level 1 put together. You get whatever is green. So you don't get 8 plus 4, for the people that think that. You get whatever's in green. So if you have a level 5, you get Infinity plus 15 and attack plus 20 whenever a monster is enraged. And believe me, a monster gets enraged a lot. Does it stack? No. You do lose it when the monster calms down. You'll see it on the side of your screen that it got activated and it got deactivated. Now understand that if there's 2 monsters and they both enrage, no, you don't get double the effect. You only get 1. But for you to lose the effect, both monsters need to calm down. Doesn't matter. There's a monster that's in your room that's angry, go activate. Oh Lord. Next one, land power. This one is the least explained one ever. I personally don't like it. But you either wait 5 minutes, I believe it was 5 minutes, into a quest, and then it will activate automatically, or if you are getting your ass handed to you, it will activate also. Those are the 2 things. Does it stay activated throughout the whole match after those 5 minutes or after you got your ass handed to you? No, it does not. It either reactivates every 5 minutes, I believe, or it activates, I think, every time you're getting your ass whooped, if you don't have it activated yet. Now, do I recommend this skill? Not at all. Not at all. Plenty of them that are much better. Part Breaker. Part Breaker is by far one of my favorites, just because it makes it so much easier for you to break parts. Now, I've gotten a lot of complaints about Part Breaker not working in multiplayer. Like I told you, everything is much harder in multiplayer. Everything takes more hits. Everything takes more work to break. Now, also understand about multiplayer is that if you play you and one friend, the game registers that you're playing 4 players. There is no such thing as a 2-player mode or a 3-player mode. It's either 1 player or 4 player. The game registers each cat as a player because they do help and they are there. Even if you leave your cat behind, it will not make the monster any weaker. But there is, as soon as somebody joins you, it goes to 4-player mode. This is why it's much harder to cut a tail when you're only playing with one buddy. Both of you need to work together on the same part for it to break easier. You cannot leave one person doing all the work on the part that you want, because it's just harder for that person. Some people go in other people's things telling them, oh, it's easy to cut the tail. It is easier when you're on your own, because it just breaks faster. You cut it faster. Everything breaks much faster. Part Breaker will just make that even faster for single player and make it a little bit faster for multiplayer. It's not something out of this world where, oh my god, I got Part Breaker level 3. That's it, I could break everything. That is not the case. Focus. Focus is by far one of my favorite skills in the entire game, just because I am a Great Sword user. This basically means that your Great Swords, your charge attacks are much, much faster. There are videos out there that show you, hand in hand, how much faster. It's like a 2-second difference, but trust me, 2 seconds in the game will save your life. Getting that extra attack in makes a difference. Weakness Exploit is another great one. Whenever you're hitting a monster on their weak spots, you'll get increased infinity. Now, if your weapon has negative infinity, like, let's say, Devil Joe's weapon. Devil Joe's weapon has negative 30 infinity. That means you're not critting with that weapon no matter what the hell you do. That's what negative infinity means. Now, there's a whole math and things that it's explained that if you have white sharpness, it's okay to have negative infinity. Infinity is not the most important thing in the game. Not gonna dive in too much to details in that because I don't really understand it myself, but there is some hidden math behind it. But what I wanted to get at in this particular situation, anyways, is that if you have weakness exploit and you hit a monsters on a weak spot, it will add the 30%. So that means Devil Joe's negative 30% will become 0. Now, if you have it in level 3, anytime you hit a monster with a negative 30% infinity weapon, that means you will have 20% infinity. All right? It's like simple math. 50 minus 30 is 20. So that's what that does. Only on weak spots. How do you know which ones are the weak spots? Simple. Usually it's the tail and the head. But if you're not sure, you can always check here. And weak spots. See? Weak spots are the wings, so that means you'll get 30% infinity there on the head, on the tail. This guy is only his head. This one is only his head and his neck. I'm assuming his head, his tail, and his four front legs. Head, legs. So different monsters have different things. So always check your book if you're in doubt, like, oh, you can't remember which one is his weakness. Understand that the stars also mean things here. So as you can see, his head is his weakest point. So you'll do the most damage on its head. Now you'll do decent damage, of course, on the wings and the tail. Same here. Usually the head is always their weakest point, as you can see. What the sword means is that sword doesn't mean only great swords. That sword means weapons like the long sword, sharp weapons, weapons that cut. Now the little hammer means blunt weapons. So blunt weapons are hammers and the horn. I believe those are the two blunt weapons. Yes. Blunt. That's what the little hammer means. It means blunt weapons, like the hammer and the horn. So clearly, the hammer works better on Devil Joe's head. Oh wow, on Diablo's head than a sword will. While the sword will work better on his wings than a hammer will. So it's, again, I don't recommend you to stick to one weapon. Even though you love that one weapon, I'm not saying you can't beat the entire game with one weapon. I've done it countless times. You can play whatever you want, but the game is much more fun if you learn different weapons. It'll become a lot easier. Back to the skills. Oops, not his items. Focus, exploit, earplugs. Now, earplugs, another one of my favorites. Earplugs, whenever a monster yells or roars, it will interrupt you. No matter what you're doing, it will interrupt you. So if you're in the middle of a combo and a monster starts yelling, then you're screwed. Your character will put his two hands in his ears, and you cannot move for a certain amount of time. Some monsters yell louder than others and leave you stunned for longer. Some monsters only have a little yell, but that little yell will interrupt your combo. Or if you're a great sword user like myself, will interrupt you while you're charging. Now, what earplug does, it notifies it, it gets rid of it, and no matter how much they scream. Now understand that level 1 would only work for monsters that scream like a cat or bark like a dog. It doesn't really do anything. Level 1 sucks. Level 2 is a little bit better than level 1, not that much interesting. Level 3, on the other hand, weak monsters. Like, who's a weak monster I could think of? I call him the Flasher, the one that flashes you. I believe he growls. I'm not sure, but there's certain growls that are very short and simple. The dog, for instance, Oregon, he yells, but he doesn't yell extremely strong like Rathalos will. Now, understand that level 4, while it gives you the effect of level 3, It also reduces the effect of big monsters, the strong monsters like Diablos and Rathalos and all the damn Elder Dragons that yell. You stay less time being stunned by it. But now, if you have level 5 is, where is that? You basically are immune to it. So anytime that they yell, you actually get a free hit, no matter what. So I will show you an example of that. 2 seconds. I'll use my main thing. Here, as you can see, I have earplug plus 5, right? So let me see if I can get, and then I have to start yelling. Do you have to have earplugs? You don't. Not if you don't want to. But if you hate the yelling as much as I fucking do, then yes, have it. So you attack a monster, and then he'll yell, and nothing will happen. So you're able to keep attacking. I even noticed when I picked up another cat. Must have picked them up along the way. You always want to pay attention to your map, because there's traps around there. Anytime the monster is knocked down, I get a hit. Completely missed there. So like I said before, every time you switch positions on the monster can also hit a trap and trap himself while you're on it. He can also get paralyzed, and it's fine. Once he's ready to go down, you take him down. You want to get his tail or his head. If you're a hammer, you always want to aim for the head. Don't ever aim for the tail. So you miss both of those. And this is what I mean by limping, but as you can see on the map, there's a skull. They usually go to their nest when they're dying. Sometimes they bump into another monster, the other monster starts attacking it. So it depends. This is usually where he goes to sleep. Now, where he's standing on right now, I don't think you can put in... Yep. You can't put traps where he's standing. I have one or two choices. You can have your cat put a trap, which I explain how to get the gadgets for your cat later. Or you could just do what I told you. You know, you can just hit him with 2 tranquilizer bombs. And put the trap right here. Hopefully I won't kill him. Oops. Got a stab by mistake. You stand near your trap, you'll get pissed. Bam. Once he touches the trap, instantly it's captured. And there you have it. You carve the tail. You can always carve the tail even if you capture a monster. But note that if this was a mission and you capture the monster, you only get 20 seconds instead of the minute that it usually gives you. Back to the skills. I just show you the earplugs thing that I wanted to show you. As long as you're not in combat and the red circle is not around your map, you can always use fast travel. Alright, back in here. It's another, what was I? Okay, over here. Gathering master. Again, not important things, but this was very useful for people that will play with other players that will knock them down or knock them away from the monster when they were trying to carve, but it kind of lost its thing. If you want to go gathering, I do have a gathering set which I'll show off later on. This skill is actually useful. In Carving Pro, this will stop you from being prevented while you're carving. This was the skill that I was talking about. My bad, it wasn't the top one, it was the bottom one. This is completely and utterly useless now that they fixed the whole issue of players being able to knock you off. Which I've been wondering why they haven't removed it yet. Next one, Pro Transporter. Now, Pro Transporter is a skill that is overlooked. There are going to be missions that you need to carry meat and carry eggs. Pro Transporter will save your life. Alright? It increases your movement, making you run much, much faster while you are holding the egg. And you can jump. And you can jump pretty much from any height or a lot higher heights than you usually can. And when you jump, you won't stumble as much for as long, so you'll be able to keep going. This will give you an extra honey, so if you're gathering for honey, you want to bring that over with you. You want to bring this skill with you. It only has level 1, so you don't need, all you need is level 1. Now, Handicraft. Handicraft is another thing that is amazing. Handicraft only works for melee weapons. It's nothing to do with ranged weapons, so don't ever use it on a ranged weapon. Nothing to do with ranged weapons, so don't ever. Yeah. So this is what Handicraft does. So let me take away something that gives me, oh, perfect, this armor right here. This armor right here gives me no Handicraft. Now, as you can see, the sharpness, the sharpness is blue. Blue is literally the one that's great. Sharpness, the what it does is the more sharpness you have, meaning the more different colors. Blue usually doesn't bounce off monsters, so blue is what you want to aim for. You will not be able to get blue early on in the game because you do not need it yet. Green is where you want to stay at the beginning of the game. You don't ever want to go below green because your attack will start being deflected everywhere you attack the monster, making you completely useless. How do you deal with that? You use a waystone and you sharpen your weapon back to its maximum sharpness. Now, what Handicraft does is simple. It gives you more sharpness. As you can see, the spot that's glowing is what Handicraft is giving me. So now that weapon has white sharpness. Now, white sharpness cannot get reflected by almost anything. But there are monsters like Nergigante that will still reflect some of your attacks just because he's an asshole. Um, there is a skill that Remedy takes that away completely. It's called Mind's Eye. Mind's Eye, what that one does is it makes sure that no matter your sharpness, your attacks will never bounce. So if you're having trouble with that, Mind's Eye is the way to go. There is an armor that gives it to you, but there are also decorations that also give it to you. If you don't want to use that armor. Awakening. Awakening is one of the most confusing ones of them all. The Awakening skill. So you're going to come across weapons that look like this. The element will be grayed out. And it will have a number in parentheses. A better example will be my main sword, to be honest. I could show you better that way. Alright. There you go, perfect. See how this one has the element fire grayed out? It has 510. Now, if you were to add free element level 1, it will free some of that. So it will make the fire element actually be on your weapon. Right now that is grayed out. This is a neutral weapon. It has no element. Now, what's the benefit in having no element in a weapon is that you can add an elementless decoration and your attack will be 10% stronger, which is much better for certain weapons. Now, if you wanted this fire, the 510 fire, you will have to put on the Awakening Charm. As you can see, since I only have Awakening level 2, he gave me 340. Now, if I was to put a level 3 one, if I was to power up to level 3, I'll get the whole 510. That's how Awakening works. That helps with explosive damage, but this doesn't mean it will help you do extra damage with blast. So whenever you're attacking a monster and your weapon is blast, you will not do extra damage with that particular explosion. You only do extra damage when you put a barrel bomb on a monster's head and you blow it up. Those things will do extra damage. Things like barrel bombs. There's different types of bombs, which I'll show. Invasion Expander. Now, this is not needed. Sometimes it's overlooked. It's a very good skill. It just helps you evade further than what you usually do. So, here's an example of not having evasion. That's pretty much where you go. That's your you're evading. If you can get used to this, you don't need Evasion Expander. Now, if you was to have it, just for the sake of showing it, I'm going to use it. Then you evade much further. Oh, Jesus. You evade much further, as you can see. Again, can you do without it? Yes, you can. But if you're the ones, you know, having trouble like I used to at the beginning of the game, you hated the dodge, then I recommend Evasion Expander. Nice skill, Stamina Surge. I believe this one. This one is really good to get back into action when you're using things like a bow or the dual blades. Whenever you go demon mode, you lose your stamina little by little. So I can probably show you by using dual blades. Basically what that skill does is it makes your stamina come back faster than usual. So if you pull out dual blades and then you use it, I really need to be in a fight to be able to show this. Lord have mercy. Give me 2 secs, followers. Here I could kill 2 birds with 1 stone. I can show you what I'm talking about stamina surge, and show you blast. What blast actually does. You go demon mode and you see that your stamina is going down. What stamina surge does and make sure it goes back up faster. That's all it does. Your stamina, your max stamina will be going down the longer you fight. The character does get hungry, so you make sure you always have rations at least to have your stamina maxed out. Now, blast, you continue to attack a monster and randomly the monster will explode and you'll do 120 damage. If I could just get it to prop. I think it propped over there. I'm not sure. Oh, no, that was my cat. No, it's probably not gonna survive this. Oh, he's dead. Either way, that's what stamina surge does. Just remember that there's always gotta be an idiot. Next skill, if I remember correctly. Stamina surge. Constitution. Constitution is one that is really, really good. It's for moves that take away chunks of your stamina, meaning every time you shoot an arrow, that takes away a chunk. Every time you jump with the insect glaive, that takes a chunk. If you have this, you shoot more arrows, you jump more times. Anything that takes it away by chunks will get minimized. You'll lose less. You lose 50% less if you get it to level 5. Marathon runner. Marathon runner are things that drain your stamina. So, like running, for instance, like it says, when you use the hammer and you're charging up the hammer, that also drains it. When you're in demon mode, that also drains it. So, if you have this in level 3, you get to stay in demon mode with the dual blades 50% longer, actually. So, that's always a plus. Critical draw is whenever you put away your weapon and you attack with the weapon. Every time you attack, take out your weapon and attack, that will have a certain infinity critical chance. So if you have a level 3, every time you attack a monster with your draw attack, meaning when you take your weapon out and attack, it will be a crit, no matter what. Now, if your weapon has negative infinity, like 20, it will have an 80% chance of doing it. It won't have the 100. And no, you cannot get past the 100. So if yours has already 20, don't waste either an armor piece or a charm or a decoration getting critical draw level 3 because it's useless. If you have 20% and you add 100, you're losing out on 20. Blast attack increases the build-up by 20%, which is amazing. That means you will see it blow up more often. Dragon attack, I already explained it. Quick Sheath helps you put away the weapon faster. This is a completely useless skill. Do not recommend it at all. The difference is like 1 second, maybe. It's not good enough to actually replace anything else. Evasion window. So when you dodge, you have this like small window that you can't get hurt. If you have this maxed out, you have a better chance of not getting hurt while you roll out the way. You're invulnerable like 2 seconds longer, I believe. Ice attack, same thing as dragon attack. All the element attacks are the same thing. They all go up to level 5. This is again for the gathering set. If you just want to go out there gathering, these are the skills you want to carry with you. This is one of them. Speed eating. Speed eating is something that gets overlooked. I don't know why. Speed eating is amazing. In every way, shape, and form. This basically is, it lowers the speed in which you use items. So when you're drinking a potion, it takes about 2 seconds, 3 seconds maybe. Drinking a mega potion takes about like 4 seconds. Takes long. You might get hit during animation. Might not. Who knows? But if you have this in level 3, you can drink literally and eat literally any item in a second. You can test it out if you want to. This has saved my life more than I can count. Great for beginners that are getting hit a lot but don't have time to heal. I recommend this skill. Level 2 is great also if you can't get to level 3, but level 3 completely, it's ridiculous the speed that you drink everything in. Let me see if I can actually, I think I can actually show you it. Do I have speed eating on this armor? No, yeah, I have level 1. I'll remove this armor. Ah, perfect. So with no speed eating, I'll drink a Mega Armor Skin. This is how long it takes. There. That was the effect. Right? Now if I was to add speed eating, and drink a demon drug. That's it. 1 second. 1.5 if you want to get technical. And this does not only go for those 2 items. This goes for everything that you eat. Everything. Including this. Including well done steaks. Everything that you eat. It gets, I'll have to say, at least 50% or even more faster. Personally, one of my favorite skills. Wide range is for support characters. I recommend it for support characters. what it does is simple. You have level 1, nearby allies will get the same, the 30%, 33% of the effect of whatever you took. So if you take a mega potion, they'll get 30% of the effect, meaning it won't heal them as much as it'll heal you, but it'll heal them a little bit. It'll be a difference between life and death. But if you have level 5, you don't need to be close to your allies, but you need to be in the same vicinity, at least. You drink a mega potion, and it works like if they were drinking a mega potion. So if you're a horn player and likes laying back and being support, or a range character that wants to be support, this is a perfect skill for people like that. Now, if you combine that with speed eating, it makes you one of the best support characters out there, because not only does speed eating makes you heal faster, it makes you be able to heal your teammates faster also, because you're able to drink it as fast and it affects everybody around you. Artillery enhances what the things say. Right? This skill is very, very good for charge blades. So I've heard. I'm not a charge blade player. So on that skill, Slugger increases attacks that do stunt damage. Believe it or not, there are attacks that do stunt damage. How do you know you're doing stunt damage? If you notice, you hit a monster and these little like sparks, yellow sparks will come out. Like when you shoulder charge a monster with the great sword. That's a stun attack. When you do the raining attack with the bow, those are stun. So if you have that, the rain will actually stun the monsters even faster than it already does. Sleep, same thing, build up. You got level 3, it has 20% build up, meaning it'll happen more often. Paralysis, same thing. Poison, same thing. Thunder attacks, the same element attacks. Health boost gives you an extra 50% health. So your health is usually, I forget. Your health is usually at max, I think it's 150. Yeah, so 150. If you have level 3 health boost, it actually goes up to 200, breaking the limit. If you're the type of person that doesn't like eating at all, you add health boost, you don't even need to eat to have maximum health. But there's no reason not to eat in this game. Paralysis resist. Resistant to certain things. Now if you have level 2, it will last 60% less time for you to snap out of it, which is great. Believe it or not, it's actually a good amount. I've tried it out. But if you have level 3, you cannot get paralyzed at all. Now, this is a wonderful thing for curing. For everybody that's having trouble with curing, I recommend this. This is amazing. If he can't paralyze you, he won't do that stupid ass combo that he does, that he paralyzes you, stay on the ground, just shaking, and then he hits you with another lightning and ends your life. Or you can use your cat and pray that he plays the right music. Defense boost, defense boost is a level 7 skill. A lot of people never go for this. A lot of people just go for attacks because it just makes more sense. But if you're having trouble, don't really recommend this because you will have enough defense. Attack boost is what I was saying, what mainly people go for. If you go up to level 4, you also get a +5 infinity, which is pretty good. Same thing, you get level 3, you can't get poisoned. On this game of the game. There are more skills. I don't have all the charms because I've been too lazy to make them. Uh, Now, the monsters that you've been killing in exploration, you don't lose none of the stuff. You just gotta talk to this chick right here
On the hunt.
and claim your rewards. And you get it all. After that, I'll autosave. Uh, Here's something that not a lot of people know about. I notice a lot of people do it. Um, when it comes to mantles, which I don't have one on this damn armor. Give me 1 second. Perfect. Alright, so I'm just gonna put this mantle on. Now when your mantle is on, you notice under your health, under your sharpness, how it starts to gray out. It's not much time you have left with it. Just waiting for it to run out so I could explain what I'm trying to explain. Alright, now I ran out. Now when it runs out, it looks like this. It looks like that. If you do not remove it, it does not recharge. You have to remove the mantle for it to recharge. A lot of people I see fighting either Kirin or fighting someone else, uh, don't take them off because they're in the heat of battle and stuff like that. And it's understandable that you get distracted trying to survive someone like Kirin. But if you don't take it off, you can't. It will never recharge, making it a lot harder. Exactly. Uh, Next thing I wanted to show. Sorry about that. My wife got home. Uh, Again, like I said, I am gonna make separate how-to videos and tips on different things. So it's basically our basic skills, and you do start getting decorations about the game later on in the game. Don't worry about that. So now about quests. When you post a quest, anybody in your room is able to join. The 16 players that are in your room, sorry about the noise in the background, are in your room are able to join. Assign clearly means story missions. There's a couple of them. They get harder as you progress through the game. Jesus, man. Really? And then we got optional quests. Optional quests with a speaking bubble will give you something. So you really want to do those. It will give you new mantles, new food, different things like that. So always want to really get to those. And we got quests like this one, which is special arena quest. Now, this is a little bit confusing to certain people. To get an arena quest to pop up, you will have to capture the monster. You have to capture every single monster, and then the monster will appear in this arena and where you can fight them. Once you fight them once in the special arena, the quest will disappear, reappear whenever it wants. Now, you cannot join someone's special arena while not having your own unlocked and expect it to be completed. So, again, let me explain myself. So let's say you have this one locked. You don't have it. You haven't captured it. But your friend has it unlocked and tells you, why don't you come join me? You join that person to do that quest. It will count for that person, but not for you. You must have the quest unlocked also, so it could count for the both of you. This is what you're going to be basically doing in this game. It's investigations. Investigations have different boxes. This is what I was telling you about. Certain monsters, you got to cut their tails, you got to break their heads to get the gem. That's pretty much what everybody wants, is the gem. These boxes have a chance of giving you a gem. You always want to go for gold. The more gold, the more chances you have of getting a gem in one of those gold boxes. Like for instance, here, there's 3 gold boxes, but he is extremely weak monster, so he doesn't have any gems. It will give you, I also want to explain that it's the monster that you're fighting that the boxes give you something for. So if you're fighting Devil Joe, you'll get Devil Joe's things in those boxes. Now, if you're fighting multiple monsters, they randomly pick the monster. You don't get to choose which reward for one monster you want. So if you really want to make a Devil Joe set, I highly recommend you to fight Devil Joe alone when you see it with gold boxes, just so you can get only Devil Joe parts. Now, there are missions that have 3 monsters. I think I have any on me right now. Oh, there you go, perfect example. 3 monsters. A lot of people get scared. Oh man, 3 monsters, that's too hard. That is not the case. The game is actually extremely fair, especially if you're playing single player. When you're fighting multiple monsters in one quest, meaning you have to hunt multiple monsters. Not that there's multiple monsters in the quest, because there always will be multiple monsters. when you have to hunt 3 monsters, the monsters actually have less health, making them actually easier to kill in single player. So this one that has 3, the game knows that you only have 15 minutes. You only have 50 minutes, so it's not gonna make them with full health, all 3 of them. Now, they're also a little weaker in multiplayer also. Just a little bit, not as much as in single player. Found myself actually killing the monster faster in a triple hunt than in a singular hunt. This applies to everyone. That's with another monster, but they must be here in their investigation. They have to be part of your quest. You can't go in a single one and see that there's 3 monsters in that quest and expect him to be weaker. You have to be able to hunt all 3 of them. In events, this is what changes every Thursday. Every Thursday, I am in Eastern time. Every Thursday at 8 Eastern time, 8 at night, it changes. For me, you will have to see what time it is for you, so it will change for you then. This changes weekly. Every week on Thursday, there will be different missions. If you need money right now, Triple Threat Throwdown is actually one of the best ones to get money, but you need the Bandit Mantle. You have to do an optional quest, I forget which one, so you get the most out of that. I will be doing a live stream, I believe, tomorrow, and where any players that are 13, HR 13 or higher, can join me, and I will get them as much money as possible. When it says condition HR or higher, whatever higher, you have to be in that age or you cannot join your friend in those quests. Usually, I've never seen anything higher than 50. I don't know if I'm wrong, but I've never seen nothing higher than 50, so should be fine once you pass the 50 mark. And I'm going to be honest, passing the 50 mark is the hardest thing in the whole game, because you have to fight the hardest monster in the whole game. Most annoying anyways. Special assignment. I'm assuming that they're going to add more stuff to this whenever they add a new monster. Like Devil Joe, you got a secret story and like extra story, extra DLC. I'm assuming that they're gonna just keep adding monsters and that's why they never got rid of it. Guild cards. Remember, you can always send guild cards to different people. What this does is it makes their cat appear in your games. You can see what they killed. As you can see, Unity, you can write whatever message you want. You can see how many quests they've completed. You can see what weapon they've used. What the cats have. All the trophies that they got, and I already platinumed this game, so I'm done with all the medals. The arena quest, their times, and you can see the measurements on the largest and the smallest. This is probably, if you're going for the platinum, the trophy that's gonna take you the longest, just because this is strictly RNG. This is strictly luck. Now, me and a good friend of mine did do this together. We did found that the more monsters are in a quest, the bigger chances they are of being small or larger. So don't do single monster missions if you're going for crowns. Another thing that we found that really worked is if you play a capture mission. usually the monsters that are with the monster that you have to capture are small or large. That's how I got most of mines anyways. The ones that you're gonna have the most trouble with is clearly the Elder Dragons, because there's no missions that there's multiple of them at the same time. So you can't do nothing about that. The last boss doesn't count. Anybody that's actually the same size on both doesn't count. So Mountain Heroes doesn't have a crown, so you don't have to worry about none of those. I am missing Devil Joes again, so I've been lazy. And that's it. You can see their hunter rank, stuff like that. I always recommend people just send it to each other, man. There's a trophy for receiving. I think it's 50 or 100. Just send it. It doesn't kill anyone. Doesn't hurt anyone in any way. Just send your cards. Hopefully people will send it back. I think that is it for this half video. Anyways, I will be explaining the armors and what skills I feel like are necessary with certain weapons. I'll make the weapon much better. In my next videos I will be uploading the how to capture a monster separately, and me explaining it together, like different parts. Been talking for like 2-3 hours. So this is basically it. I explained a little bit of everything here and there. As a new player, as new players coming into this game, if you don't have anyone to play with, like I said, shoot me a message. Always down to help people. I don't really care. It's literally what I do. Just help people. Don't be shy to comment questions or anything you didn't understand that I explained. If I'm wrong about something, please correct me. Or if I didn't cover something else, just comment below and I'll cover it. I'll be explaining the different weapons, you know, and the skills that I feel like belong with the weapons in another video. So I hope this helps, even if it helps a little bit. I know it's long and knows a lot of talking and stuff, but I'll try to keep making how-to videos so everybody can understand Monster Hunter. It's not well explained, but it's an amazing game. So you guys take care of yourself and have a good one, and share this video with new players. It's tedious, it's long, but this is some of the basic things that you need to be doing. So see you guys later.